What is a high value, like what would the high value man look for in a high value woman? Unless that was already answered.
Oh, you did ask that question and we didn't answer it, did we?
No, I don't think I asked that question.
Oh, okay.
You did, yeah.
You said 5 things.
5 things.
Oh, yeah, but a lot of people didn't answer.
I didn't ask the men.
But it's for the women, not for the men, yeah. Okay, that was a good question.
Me personally, I like women who are focused on their goals, who are driven on something. Even if that's being a mother, I like women who have like a purpose. One of the most beautiful women I ever messed up with was a French girl. She was doing cybersecurity, very solid. She was single for a period after graduating, and then she got with the guy she was with at uni, and now she's got a daughter, and she's a senior cybersecurity consultant at a leading engineering firm. I f***ed up big time. I should have been hustling for that, but I was like 19 or 21. So yeah, women who are focused, who kind of are focused on their job, women who are supportive and who understand how to like compliment a man. I don't like combative women. I can deal with one, but I'd rather not. And I would say women who are selfless. Like any of this talk about like, you know, what I deserve, what I'm owed, what the world owes you, extremely I spoke to a girl on Hinge, right? And she was telling me how all these Nigerian men in Manchester wanted to wife her up, and how like she doesn't respect men unless they pay for her food and stuff like that. That's a basic thing. How can I respect you if you don't even act like a man, this and that? And I ignored everything she said and asked her out because, you know, it was just going to be some fun. And she said, "Oh, you said link up, and that means that's disrespectful," and she blocked me. This is the kind of combativeness, that kind of nature where she felt the need to tell me how to speak. Yeah. On top of those ridiculous demands.
I think that is a bit much, but
it's a lot of women though.
Yeah.
I agree with the fact that a man should pay for dinner though.
Yeah, of course.
But I think the exchange is a man takes that role and then she takes a feminine role.
Yeah.
That's the real exchange.
So do you know,
like, don't ask for equality if I'm going to pay for everything.
A man should put a woman in her feminine energy, period.
No.
Exactly.
But why is it incumbent on the man? Why is it incumbent on the man to put her in it? Why shouldn't she be in it of her own accord?
I think as a man, if you're not doing something in the relationship that she needs or she wants from you, she's gonna act in her masculine energy.
Wait. I actually kind of agree with this.
She's gonna actually act in her masculine energy.
Yeah, a little bit, because
it's
his job to take the role and the lead, and that's really why I was disagreeing with you so hard on that being emotional nonsense. Because if he comes home, if you translate what he's saying, oh, I got problems in this and this, he's saying, I can't take care of this. I can't handle it. You should be scared because I am not enough to handle the problems. He should come home and say, I had a problem today. I absolutely took care of it. You have nothing to worry about. Yeah. Sleep like a baby tonight. I got this whole situation.
Doesn't have to say that.
And when a man does that, a woman has no problem getting inside of a man, a really strong man's frame, a masculine man.
Absolutely.
I have no problem. I just find that girls that say that, it's just like they're just not feminine. Like the most feminine.
What girls?
Like,
that say what?
Like when they say I need a man to like put me in my feminine energy.
Pearl, can I say I think there's two sides to this. I think on the one hand, I think you're right. I agree with Justin. I think a strong man is going to put you into your feminine, and that's absolutely correct. However, I also think part of the problem is, as I said, women are not approaching it from the point of I should be in my femininity anyway. Also, or women in the West aren't. Now, again, if you go to South America or you go to places in Eastern Europe and stuff like that aren't England and they aren't America, you get women who are much more naturally in their feminine. They don't need to be told, oh, you know, I'm going to act up unless I'm putting my feminine. They're just going to do it naturally. So I think it's kind of a little bit of both, if that makes sense.
It's because when I think of like the most feminine women I know, like when I think of like the archetype of like what I would like hope to be one day, right? There's just no man that they could talk to that would make them masculine because they're just so feminine.
I think what you said about like culture and stuff, like I'm part Jamaican, so like Jamaican women, they are very, very tough. Like you don't cross a Jamaican woman, do you know what I mean? So maybe that's like integrated in my system anyway.
100%. It is 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
There's a lot of trauma in Jamaican communities.
So we've got to learn from that, and that is passed on through.
I think culture does make a big difference.
No, but it is true. And with Jamaicans as well, like I feel like a lot of the time, especially if it's like single, you have to be that strong woman. Like I'm Jamaican, you have to be that strong woman.
You don't let your side down.
Yeah, so a lot of the older generations, they might have been actually single, and it's like they were like that strong for like all their kids. Like my grandma, trauma.
Yeah.
She had to be the single woman for
I would call it trauma because I've seen this cycle of single mothers imparting all their horrible experiences onto their kids and all this kind of bullying. And a lot of guys peaking at high school and then using that to prey on like 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, basically bullying them with their experience, getting these girls pregnant. So I would say that's quite significant. I wouldn't say that's like normal mental trauma. Like, no, you are actually traumatized.
No, you don't have to call it traumatized because it's like you move on. Like I don't think it's something that is like, what is trauma? Like trauma is not a event. It's how you take that. I don't think trauma is real because it's really and truly how you like what you take from that experience.
Perceive it.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm traumatized because this happened. You're traumatized because you don't want to get over it or you don't want to like better yourself to like get over it.
There's levels, obviously.
Yeah. Could you finish?
Of course there's levels,
saying? What you look for in a high value woman?
I wasn't. He was talking on it.
Oh, he was.
I'm finished.
Okay, your turn.
I don't know if I absolutely want what they might call a high value woman. What I think is very important to me is no promiscuity.
Yeah.
Or very, how you market yourself online in 2023 is very important. The role that you allow the man to take by empowering him to be the hero. No man doesn't want to be a hero to his family. That's what makes love such a beautiful thing. No man wants a woman he can't save from a castle and a dragon. Not to say that the woman is broken, but he wants to take the role of being appreciated for taking care and putting everything on the line for his family. It's very, very important to me and any other man, and I have no problem saying that. In addition, one thing we've not really touched a lot is beauty. Men truly care about beauty and keeping yourself together, and being clean and soft in the way of a feminine woman, and really keeping up with that, especially as you start to get older. I think it's really important that you pay attention to that because men judge other men based off their girl. And it's very important to have a woman that's not only beautiful and feminine, but is also willing to serve like in the feminine role because it makes a man look good. So like, let's say if you're people come over to your house or something like that, you would ask his friends, can I get you guys anything? Like trying to be like helping the group because you respect the fact that they might be talking about business. Not to say that a woman can't do business. I'm just talking about a woman really being in the feminine energy and even to a degree submissive. And I'm not sorry to say it because really and truly no man wants to date a person or be with a person that he has to fight with to be man of the house.
Oh, of course.
No, agreed. And you know what? I think for us females, like, that's so nice when you can feel like, you
feel safe. And let me defend you guys real quick. This is what's so hard for you guys. There's so much at risk for you to let go.
Yeah.
There's so much at risk.
And I feel like in this Western world especially.
Yeah, and you hold on to it because you don't know if this son of a bitch is actually going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck.
So it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, you're trying to defend yourself and men ain't shit and I'm going to go on my journey because I'm going to hold out. Yeah. And you know what sucks about it? A lot of times the girl's right. He ain't shit. He ain't shit. But it premises that with the title of the show, right? What really, truly sucks for women and where I truly feel bad for you and where I think your life is really, really hard, you find the guy that can do it and then he exercises his options. Yeah. But what I would look for instead of that is, does he make you feel loved? Do you feel safe? Will he sit down and have a heart-to-heart? You'll know if he actually loved you or not.
Yeah.
When you get upset and you cry, if he stops everything he's doing, cancels all, and he's with you truly, and he can look you in the eye and you know he's there for you, he's going to take care of you, and you feel safe around him, safe enough to let go, you found the right guy.
Yeah.
Anything short of that, you're at a major risk because you're risking it all. And I understand why a woman would want to hang on to a little bit of her freedom if he didn't think he could handle it. And that's why I would never tell a man to cry to a woman because you're telling her I can't handle it, which is going to make her look elsewhere to find somebody who can. And that's just how it's always been. And that's how it is.
What about you?
I think beauty is really important. Like you said, I think that is a key thing. Without wanting to sound shallow, but it's not shallow. It's just that is how we're built. I think that is super key. I think sweetness and femininity are the the ultimate things that stick out to me, really. Like you said, you don't want to be in a situation with somebody where it's going to be combative, right? I mean, I was in a situation that was very brief because I didn't allow it to continue with a woman who was incredibly combative, and really tried to sort of, I don't know, man. I mean, she was just off on a different thing, and it was like I can't live with this, and I don't want to live with this. I don't want to live in this situation. This isn't what. How is this pleasurable, right? You know, I want to be with somebody who is sweet, who's feminine, who's nurturing, and who you can and who also makes an effort to understand the male position in all of this as well. Because I think a lot of women don't, and they don't try to. And I think it's important for her to understand the male side of things, and somebody as well where. You're looking for that ride or die, really, ultimately, aren't you? You know, somebody who you can be honest with and say, look, this is me. This is how this is going to go. There may be times when, you know, I'm going to go and do something over here, but I love you. You are my queen. You are the you are the top of the pile for me. But you've got to accept the realities of my nature. And I think a woman who can have that conversation and not get, you know, overly emotional and understand from the masculine point of view why that conversation has to happen. I think that is the ultimate thing for me, really.
Agreed. I think it's just so difficult for us females, like going back to what you said, when we want to be in our, like, we want a guy to completely just take care of us and protect us and be that hero. You know, every girl, we've been told all these fairy tales, all these stories when we're growing up. We're fed it from when we were kids.
Delusion.
Like, do you know, it is delusion. We want to.
Oh my God, we got through to them.
Listen, it's the guy saving the female all the time. So I think that's when it hurts so much, when you finally say, oh my God, okay, I can let go. I'm finally in my feminine energy. I don't have to protect myself anymore. I can finally let go. And that's why it hurts so much when you see the guy that you think you can do that with, and then they go out and exercise the options. Like you said, that's why it hurts so much. And that's when it goes back to the original question as to where you stay or do you go.
Also, I'll tell you this, is that for you, sex in a lot of ways equals love. For men, it does not.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what's painful. You're like, how could he possibly do that when I don't want to do that at all, truly? So most women that are truly in love with a man they don't know another man exists. And I think you said that earlier. And it's absolutely true. So for you can't comprehend, just like we can't comprehend your position. How could he possibly love me the way I love him and still do that? And you're completely valid in that feeling. It's just trying to get through to anyone. Like, men don't feel that way. They don't.
You can explicitly say, because that's, I think,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the point earlier, how far men will go down the totem pole to do it. It haunts men in a lot of ways, I'm telling you.
I think that is the question that I would ask when you say to me, what question do you want to ask men? That is the question. When that happens, is it love, or is it just blind? I don't care about that girl. I don't care about that female.
I promise you, he does not care about her.
Okay.
He doesn't give a shit.
And it's going to haunt the man even more if he's like not being open, innit? Like if he's like hiding it, he's like sneaking out the house and come back in. He's got his family. He knows how you act. Like that must be even worse.
See, your grandfather, I think, was a good example because he did that. And he had that kind of other side of his life, but he treated his main woman with so much respect that he didn't shame her by making it open.
Yep, respect.
And I respect her for that because I think at some point, another thing I didn't mention, it's about compromise. I like women who are naturally feminine, who naturally understand, like, listen, I'm slightly less successful than Justin, right? Slightly, right? Got 1 or 2 million less, right? So not every man's going to be a superhero and everyone's going to have their flaws. And being willing to kind of meet them halfway and talk about things is such a rare trait. And the prettier women get, the less likely they want to do that. The more they want to see a man bend over and slide in the DMs and do all these things because they think, I can do it. And they all get played. Because the guys that will do that are doing it because they're horny. That's it.
Yeah.
Is there a conscience there, though? Is there a conscience after?
In what way?
After that happens, after they do that, like, is there a conscience as
the
thinking,
men? If they're running around lying to people, yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why it's so important. To me, truly, a high value man will live in truth.
Yeah, and this undermines the whole toxic masculinity exercise because what you always talk about is actually just being honest and authentic. This is my nature.
Like with honesty,
this is how I am.
You said, didn't you, back at the start?
And what's toxic? How can anyone say that's toxic? Right?
I'll put it to you like this: if I love myself, I have to believe that many, but somebody would love me just the way I am, in full truth.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, most of the time when a man gets caught, he has been caught in deception. So not only is he a liar, he's a coward. And how can you respect a coward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is truth.
That's very true.
That is true.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I stand
Cool.
with that.
As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.